Hi, this is Paige again. It's November 28th. It's about 10 o'clock in the evening. It's Monday, and it's been a little over 2 weeks since I made my last video. And I've been out. I went to a meeting tonight, and I'm going to talk about the meeting a little bit in a few minutes. What I'm going to talk about tonight is something that's very personal and private to me as an individual, and it's something that's not directly related to my transgenderism, but it's very much related to my transition, if you will. But before I do that, I'm going to show you what I wore, since people seem to always want to know. I'm going to turn the camera. Okay. There's a mess over in the corner, you could see. I try to make it look neater here than it probably actually is. Okay, that's good. Okay, I wasn't going to talk about this. It's been going on for a couple weeks, or more than a couple weeks. But I've been alluding to it in several of my videos. I've talked about the fact that I didn't drink, or hadn't been drinking for a long time. And then I also talked about going to meetings and things with a younger group of people. And I think it's so important in this girl's transition that I feel that if I didn't talk about this, that I wouldn't be being honest with all you people who are so kind and to write in and compliment me and comment on what I talk about and to make suggestions. I'm in recovery. I've been in recovery for a very long time. If you watched my earlier video about becoming aware of the fact I was transgendered, you'll know it happened when my children were very small, and they're now in college. In any event, I did this through a fellowship, which has been one of the most important influences in my life, besides saving my life. And in many ways, it also gave me the courage to be myself. But in any event, what I've been alluding to in the last few weeks is the fact that I've started going to meetings as a woman. When I moved to Denver, I didn't go to meetings because I'd been going to meetings in D.C. as a man, and I felt dishonest. But I wasn't ready to come out and tell my friends I was transgendered. And I'd been a member of this fellowship for many years, going to different groups, and I was concerned that, of course, the idea of transitioning in so many different groups, with so many different people, was very intimidating to me. It was just too much. And I wasn't ready a year ago. But this year I am. And there was a great deal of serendipity in this, as in much of my life. There was somebody I knew. I'd known for about 2 years, but not well. And as a result of some casual conversations, this individual became aware of the fact that I had been in recovery for a number of years, and it was a woman. And she mentioned that she was also in recovery. And that led us to talk about meetings, and led me to come to the realization that I needed to be honest with this woman about what was keeping me from going to meetings. And so I did. And she was wonderful. She told me which meetings that she felt I would be comfortable in and which meetings people would be comfortable with me as a transgendered woman in. And so I did. I went to several meetings with her, and she was right about the groups. They were wonderful. The group I just came back from was the group that actually made me feel at home. I was meeting my friend there, and of course I went there by myself, and I walked in the door, and there was a greeter there. A lot of groups here have greeters, and it was a man named John, and John said welcome, because he hadn't seen me before, and so I held up my hand to shake his hand, and John said, "Oh no, we give hugs here," and he gave me this big hug. And the first thought was, I hope my makeup's not coming off on his black coat. And the second thought was, I hope he's going to be okay with this later on when I talk. And anyway, so I did talk at the meeting. I told them who I was and that I was new to this meeting and a bit about my past. And they were very welcoming. And then after the meeting, I went up to John and I said, I hope you're still okay about that hug. And he said, oh, sure, and he gave me another hug. And that's been my welcome. Not just that, but then my friend was having a party for women in the fellowship at her apartment the following Friday, I think, and I was invited, and that's where I went to a party with all these people who were women who were young enough to be my daughter. And they were very welcoming, and a couple of them suggested a Saturday meeting I would be comfortable at. And so the next day I went to that with one of them, and I met other people, other women. They were all just so welcoming. And my life is just wonderful. It's be able to be back home in the fellowship, and partaking of their experience, strength, and hope is just so wonderful, and it's so wonderful to know that they accept me as I am. And so it's been, my Thanksgiving was focused around the fellowship. I went to a club which had a Thanksgiving dinner, and I volunteered. I'd volunteered before to serve. I'd been to it, and I went as myself, and everybody was welcoming, and I mean, they really are welcoming. They just put their hands out and say, keep coming back. And the women have been very warm, and the men have been friendly, and that's all I want. I'm not there for anything other than to stay in recovery. And so my life is good. And when I've been telling you I've been blessed, it's been for many of the reasons I have to be blessed. But this is a huge one for me. And at first I wasn't going to put this on here, but I know there are a number of people who subscribe to my channel, and you know, part of my being open and candid about being a transgendered woman extends to the fact that I'm in recovery, and a part of my joy and confidence that I'm gaining through living as a woman comes from my welcome in the fellowship, and so I feel I need to share that with you all. It's wonderful. You know, I haven't had a bad experience yet. I'm sure there's some men there who aren't really comfortable when they first meet me, but I think after a while they will be fine if I'm just myself. I mean, I'm there for the same reason they're there, and nothing else. So, you know, I still have challenges in my life. I'm going to be very busy the next 3 weeks. I have a lot of writing to do as a result of these trials I had in November. and that's due before Christmas. And then I have my daughter's coming on the 17th of December, and she'll be here for 4 days. And she wants to see me dressed, so we're going to go out to dinner. And I hope she will want me to be dressed more than just one time, but I need to remember that this transition is happening very fast for her, and that I need to give her time. I know that if I'm thoughtful about the other's concerns and the loss they're suffering, I have a much better chance of having a good result, the result that I wish for, than if I try and force feed them my gender issues. So, anyway, I hope everybody's doing well and have a safe week. I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Mine was fantastic. And stay pretty, okay? All right. Love you all. Bye-bye.